Sawubona, it's Sarcy. Welcome to my channel and my first ever video. What? Happy New Year, it's 2019. It is time to be brave, to try new things, and that is what I am here doing today in front of a whole bunch of people, whether I know them or not. So let's see what happens. Before I start babbling and I start talking nonsense because I'm a little bit intimidated about doing this, I'm going to jump right in. So let's start together. I'm doing a classic, elegant evening smoky eye for New Year's tonight. I know a lot of people had parties last night, but if you still have something going on today, here are some ideas for you. And this is how I do my routine. I'm already moisturized. I have my SPF on, and that's important, especially here in South Africa, because that sun is strong, whether it is cloudy or not. Today we thankfully have some clouds. We desperately needed that because it's been so blinking hot. But I'm starting out now with this Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. It's almost finished. I've been using this for a long time. I'm going to rub it between my fingers and pat it into my skin. So there we go. I'm all patted in. I'm going to go to my foundation now. I really like this Estee Lauder Double Wear. This is something I will splurge on like every other year. And since I don't wear makeup every day, it lasts me that long. So one of the reasons why I like this is not just because it's full coverage, but it's very thin. It's not thick, it's not pasty. I cannot stand a thick foundation that feels like it's weighing my face down. And there are a lot of ways to apply foundation. We'll go through that as I do videos, but I'm just going to tap this on my face in some little dots right now. I'm using this, it's just a flat round brush, and it's pretty dense. And then I just buff my foundation in. So see, I'm all blended now. I'm going to go in with my concealer. This is my Maybelline Fit Me. Alright, now, to give my face some dimension, I'm going into my Sephora Contour Palette. I'm just using a basic, this is kind of like a blush brush. It's not super round, it's not angled, it's just kind of more flat. And I like that because I can go in, I lost the lid here. I can go in kind of on an angle across these shades. That's also why I like this palette. It's got a little bit of everything. I'm going to tap off the excess. And then I'm going to come where you can kind of already see the natural shadows occurring. And always remember to build, especially if you're going for a more full coverage look. Don't think I've got to get it all on in one swipe, because that's when you start to look harsh. So I'm going to come in using really light swipes. So you can see now I've got a little bit more depth, a little bit more dimension. Now I'm coming in with the blush. For the blush, I am using Bare Minerals. This color is Aubergine. I like a lot of different colors of blushes, but this one's kind of my favorite. It's a very dusty rose, super buildable, so you can go very light. You can go heavier if, like, especially in the winter when you are feeling like a piece of new canvas. This has a tiny bit of shine to it. Again, I'm doing circles. I'm coming from my cheekbone point, and if you can feel your cheekbone, give it a feel. Like, even if you have a very round face, find your cheekbone. Dropping my brush. Follow that bone of yours and melt it in with that contour. You don't want it to look like a Neapolitan ice cream stripe down your face. You want it to melt together. Again, Essence. I heart color intensifying eyeshadow base. This stuff is awesome. Oh, this stuff is crazy affordable and it is incredible. I love it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit there, a little bit here, and then I'm going to pat it in with my finger. Now that I have my primer on my lids, I'm going to go in with what we call a base or transition color. It provides a nice canvas for the other colors to blend really smoothly on. So I'm going to use just kind of a fluffy brush. You can use one like this. You can use a thicker one like this. I'm going into the Makeup Revolution palette. This one is flawless. It's a great palette. It's got a lot of nice shimmery colors, glittery colors that are perfect for a New Year's Eve look. Here we go. So I'm just going to pat this all over my lid. You're going to see the whole idea is to make it blend in with the color of your skin. So it's not going to be white, it's going to be flesh colored. And I actually really like this Makeup Revolution palette. I'm going to show you now why. Because a lot of palettes only have this very light transition color. So you can see here. A lot of them only have this. This one has all of these matte browns, which is super awesome because then it's great for all skin tones and it doesn't leave anybody out really. And that makes me happy because far too often you'll find that things are more based towards fair skin. And that's not cool because everyone should be able to wear makeup and have fun with it. All right, our base is on. I'm coming in now with this fluffy brush and I'm going to start laying down a color for my crease. I'm going to go with some dark blues. And that is not something I usually do. So I am stepping out of my comfort zone in more than one way today. But before I go in with the blue, I'm going to go in with a bit of a dark brown. Always cap off that extra stuff because you can always build up. Rather build up than put too much on that you can't blend nicely. Makeup Revolution is great too. Their stuff is super affordable. You'll find out as we go. I'm all about the affordable beauty industry. Some people like to do like all of one eye and then all of the other eye. I like to match as I go on. But right now I'm using this one right here to, there we go, right there. So just start my crease and make it deeper. So you can see I'm moving kind of in like little windshield wiper and tiny circles, almost like ovals though, like a little scallop, a scalloped edge. Then I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to go back to that transition color and just hit the top here so that it blends out a little bit lighter up here. Like I said, everyone's eye shape is different, so you can see how high I was able to go up with this color. Not everyone's going to be able to do that. So please don't sit down and try this and then feel frustrated. We'll get there. We will get to your eye shape, I promise you. If you have specific requests as I go on through this channel, please tell me in the comments. Tell me, hey, I have hooded lids. Hey, I have, you know, a lot of lid space and I need to know what to do with it. Tell me, and I will do a tutorial specifically for your eye shape because I think that's really important and that's where a lot of people get frustrated and get lost in the makeup game. As you can see, if I look straight ahead, I still have a decent amount of lid space. I have like more almondy eyes, but I still have a crease to work with. So do tell me what you are looking for and what you are interested in. I am now going to go into that crease some more with a dark blue. This is a really pretty midnight blue. I don't know why, I really steer away from blues. I don't know if it's intimidating to me or if I kind of have this idea in my head that blue's not my color, but we're gonna find out now. I tend to go more towards like purples and cranberries and definitely earth tones. Earth tones are my go-to look. So I'm finding my brow bone is like right here. And I'm basically taking underneath my brow bone and working in that color, that blue. And I'm bringing it over. All right, now there's a really dark, even darker. So this is the one that I just used, that blue. And now I'm going into this one, which has a bit more glitter to it. I'm gonna hit up that corner again. Not the corner, sorry, the crease. But I am going to go to the corner just now, as you'll see. Crease. I'm using a soft flat brush for this to really get in that edge. I'm going in with this. Moving it around, blending it together. Now, I am going to bring a little bit of this glitter into the corner, just a little bit, and then I'm going to cut out a crease. I will do a more in-depth tutorial about this because this is something that can be very frustrating to learn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my very light concealer. I'm going to use a little concealer brush. So it's a pretty stiff little brush, but it's got a round edge. So I am going to go right here, go down. Some people have even higher brow bones, so they can do like a really intense one. I'm going to pat it into place with some of that transition color again to just lock it there. So that is now locked in. So, there. I'm going to pat this in and set that. This transition color again. Now, thank you for being gracious, by the way, with as I figure out how this whole filming myself works. There will be plenty of bloopers. I will put together an awesome blooper roll for you all to laugh at some point. But right now, I'm going into this little Tarte highlighting palette because I really want to make the next colors stick out and pop on my eyelid. And I'm going to go to a clean brush that looks like this. Let me do the right thing. I'm tapping in. This is Tarte's Metallic Shadow Pin Up. I use this as a highlighter all over my face. I use this for every single one of my brides, every single one of my bridesmaids. It's incredible. So what I'm going to do now is actually pat this on, because with something that's very shimmery, you don't want it to fluff all over your face and then you've got to clean up afterwards. You really want to control it as much as possible. And this is just going to make what I put on top pop even more, because that is the whole thing I want to do right now, is just create a lot of light on my eyelid for a very shimmery, fun New Year's look. Now, before I do the next part of the shimmer, I'm going to go on the corners, the outer corners of my eyes, and bring that blue back in. So I'm going back in with that glittery blue, tapping off, and I'm putting on the corners. So bring it back up into my crease a little bit. Then, again, I'm coming back with my blending brush, which I have now put here. And now, piece de resistance are these Styla glitter eyeshadows, which I'm obsessed with. I saved, like, these little bundles aren't like break the bank expensive, but I live on a pretty tight budget. So I saved so that I could get this for myself, and I use them so sparingly because I love them. So the one I'm going to use today is going to be Kitten Karma. I don't know if that's two different names or if that's the whole name. But it is crazy sparkly. I use this so rarely. I'm going to come right in the middle of my lid. I'm going to bring it up, and then I'm going to use my finger again to tap it in and to blend it, because otherwise it can be really harsh. And while we're going for a cut crease, I do still want the colors to look nice together. Alright. Here's one child, there goes my mirror. So putting that that kind of white highlighting powder underneath something sparkly like this just gives it the extra boost it needs to really shine and be the star of the show. Look at this. So magical. Oh, I love it. All right, now before I go into the inner corners and blend, I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to go underneath my eye with a thinner brush. I'm going to start with the darker color. I'm going to start with this blue. I'm not going to do a super intense smoky eye. It works for some people. It doesn't work for me. It tends to just kind of make my eye and cheek melt together, if that makes sense. And then my eyes don't actually look more open, they just look more heavy. So I'm doing a thinner line. I am going to use a little bit of like a cranberry shade because I love this color. So after I've done that dark color, I like to really blend out that middle color into that back color, and you can always add more. And then finally for that, you're coming back in with that highlight. Same brush. Next, I am going to do some liner. So this is the Sephora Colorful Wink It Felt Liner, and it's waterproof. I'm doing like a fine line across. Do you guys have like any awesome goals for the new year? So for example, for me, before I had my son, I was doing a lot of running. I loved it. I didn't think I would love it, but I loved it. I'm going to go in with my liner. I'm not going in my waterline. I'm going to kind of brush it in between my lashes so that I'm not making a definitive line, but it's just going to make my lashes look a little bit thicker. So what I was saying was I was doing a lot of running and I loved it. And I think since having a baby, I've been intimidated to start up again. You kind of feel like you're never going to be good at it again, but you just have to do it. So that is my goal, is to just not be like, I'm going to run this many times a week, but to learn to love running again. That's my goal for this year, one of them. So that's just like a tiny peek into the way I do things. But tell me, how do you do yours? Because it's always interesting to hear what motivates different people, and how everyone does things just a little bit differently. Before I highlight the rest of my face, I'm coming into my brow bone with another like blending brush. Just gonna hit just here. And then I am going to pop off of camera quickly so I can put on my falsies because it's New Year's and it's like a treat to do false lashes. So I'm going to use the Ardell Fashion Lashes 109 in black, and I've used these a couple times now. That's a nice thing about falsies, is that if you take care of them, you can use them more than once, and these are super affordable. So here I go off camera to do that quickly. I'm back, my lashes are on. I'm feeling so pretty. I just feel like so feminine with these lashes, like Bambi. So next up is highlighting a little bit of my face. I'm using kind of a pointed little tapered brush. I'm gonna hit up, ooh, I'm shaking, the tip of my nose. I'm gonna blend it out with my finger. And then I'm going to find the center of my nose and follow the light there, and again with my finger. I'm going to do the Cupid's bow above my lips. That's probably my favorite part, actually. It just adds so much. It looks a bit like a silver mustache at the moment, but you'll see now, like once I've got lipstick on, how it looks. And then finally, with that blush brush that I used, I'm going to tap into this lightly. This is still that Tarte that I was telling you about before. I'm going to just touch above the cheekbone. We'll give just enough light that if you do sweat, you can just say it's your highlighter. It won't look like a mix of both. I'm not going to do any on my forehead today because I know that's where I'm going to sweat first. And I'm thinking now that I had an instructor out. Now to lips. Lips. This one has been used so much, so it is something that I have to use a lip brush for, which isn't my favorite because I'm very ticklish. Like, it tickles my lips. But this is Sephora's long-lasting lipstick. I was gonna say it's called Made in Switzerland, but that's not the case. It's number 19 or 4155A. I'm not sure. I wish it had just like a name, but one reason why I love their lipstick is because it smells so good. So here I go with my lip brush, dipping into this red. It is an incredibly festive red. This is like Christmas red, you guys. That is incredibly red, but I am here for it. I really like it. You guys, I haven't done a look like this in an age. I just, don't have time usually for myself to do this, but it was so much fun to do it with you guys today. Thank you for being here and for watching my first video. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if there's something you would like to see in the future on this channel. I have more videos coming up, but your comments will help me along the way with knowing what to do, not just final decision-wise, but giving me ideas. What do you want to see? Let me know, because I'm first and foremost a teacher at heart, and that is what I want to be here for, is to teach you things. So I am learning to be brave myself by doing this. I want you to take a step today and be brave about something. It doesn't have to be makeup. It doesn't have to be anything to do with your appearance. It could just be trying something new. So go out, compliment someone today, lift someone up, be an encouragement, and let me know what you think of this video. Have a happy new year, guys, and let's do 2019. Let's crush it. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.